I'm sorry.
You got him on the gear!
Please get off him, please.
What are we gonna do, Boo?
Come on, drink it all. You won't feel a thing.
Norm, the elderly leader of a criminal organization, directs his son-in-law, Bull, to prepare for their departure after a celebration. They head to a slaughterhouse where Norm confronts the troubled factory owner about a long overdue debt. Despite Norm's intention to seize the factory, the owner, reneging on his promise, refuses to sign the seizure papers. This infuriates Bull, leading him to take drastic action by cutting off one of the factory owner's fingers. Bull's actions eventually force the factory owner to sign the foreclosure papers. When Bull returns home, he wonders about the absence of Gary, who should have been involved in resolving the problem. Norm and the rest of the crew remain silent. Bull discovers Gary's car in his driveway that night, revealing Gary's secret relationship with Bull's wife, Gemma. Bull withdraws to his son's room, choosing to keep Gemma's infidelity hidden out of respect for Norm. Bull deals with his heartbreak alone in the days that follow, focusing on raising his son Aiden. Norm pulls Bull aside for a private conversation one day. Norm informs Bull of his critical role in their operation and informs him that due to his daughter Gemma's decision to live with Gary, Bull must separate from her. Norm expresses regret and explains that Bull is no longer a member of their crew. Bull, who is uninterested in Gemma and Gary, admits he was aware of their affair but kept it quiet out of respect for Norm, their gang leader. He emphasizes that if it hadn't been for his concern for Norm, they would have already faced consequences. Bull expresses willingness to leave the crew, but with one condition: custody of his son Aiden. This demand is rejected by Norm, who doubts Bull's ability to care for Aiden. Bull storms off, enraged. He brings Aiden back to their old house the next day on the spur of the moment. Despite Bull's ruthlessness towards opponents, his love for his only son is unconditional. Later that day, two of Bull's associates arrive at his former residence. Norm has tasked them with accompanying Bull to a nearby amusement park. Bull is initially opposed to the idea of maintaining ties, but Marco persuades him that the visit is simply Norm's farewell to Bull and Aiden. This persuades Bull to accept the meeting. Bull plays games with Aiden and rides various rides when they arrive at the amusement park. Eventually, he runs into Norm, who instructs Marco and Mike to entertain Aiden with another game so that Norm and Bull can have some privacy. Through Aiden out of seeing, Norm points a gun at Bull and leads him to the parking lot, where Gary waits for them. Bull, enraged, condemns Gary as a failure and accuses Gemma of being disloyal, accusing her of betraying any man. Norm, offended by these disparaging remarks about his daughter, strikes Bull with his weapon and orders him into a car trunk. They transport Bull to a remote bus in a field. Gemma arrives and confronts Bull physically for abducting Aiden. When the dust settles, Norm confronts Bull about his plan of action if he ever has to leave Aiden. Bull responds calmly that he would eliminate anyone responsible. Recognizing Bull's ruthlessness, Norm chooses to eliminate Bull rather than risk his threat. Norm orders his henchmen to douse the bus in petrol, render Bull unconscious with alcohol, and abandon him inside the bus before igniting it, trapping Bull inside. Witnessing his father trapped in the burning bus, Aiden frantically exits Gemma's car, screaming for Bull. Gemma hurriedly pulls him back into the car. A decade later, Bull, determined for vengeance, awaits a taxi pickup. Arriving at his destination, Bull steps out of the vehicle and eliminates a former associate of Norm's. After the assassination, he heads to the amusement park, filled with memories of happier times with Aiden. Reflecting on these moments, the scene transitions to Norm's eldest daughter's residence, Gemma's elder sister. Upon flipping on the lights, the woman is visibly shocked to find her husband bound. Her surprise turns to terror as she spots Bull, whom she believed dead, standing before her. Questioning the eldest daughter about Gemma and Norm's current whereabouts, Bull discovers their old residence is now vacant. She claims ignorance, stating it has been 5 years since any contact. Without hesitation, Bull ends their lives, as they were involved in supplying the bus where he faced near death at the hands of Norm and his associates. An elderly Norm pays a visit to Gemma and Gary's house the next morning during breakfast. His goal is to infuriate Gemma by informing her of the murder of her sister and her husband. She suspects the perpetrator is Norm's adversary. In response to his daughter's accusations, Norm denies having enemies and claims their deaths were most likely the result of a botched burglary. Continuing his path of vengeance, Bull encounters a young boy, Marco's son, the offspring of one of Norm's former allies who had betrayed Bull. Bull instructs the boy to go home and inform his father about Bull's presence, specifying that he will be waiting for Marco in the local park. The boy follows through, relaying Bull's message to his father upon reaching home. Marco, initially dismissive, contacts Norm about the encounter and the man named Bull seeking him. Norm instructs Marco to meet the man and verify if it is indeed Bull. Before departing, Marco arms himself with a knife, instructs his wife to secure all entrances to their home, and forbids anyone from leaving until his return. When Marco arrives at the park, he is surprised to see Bull, whom he thought died in the fire years ago. Marco apologizes for his past treachery, justifying what he did as being in accordance with Norm's instructions. Meanwhile, Marco's wife receives a call from his phone, concerned for her husband's safety. She is taken aback when Bull responds, as she was expecting to hear his voice. She rushes to the park, alarmed, when she finds her husband's death body. The next day, Norm and Gary visit Bull's mother, realizing that Bull is alive and seeking revenge. Norm confronts Bull's mother, demanding Bull's current location. Despite her vulnerable state, she maintains ignorance, stating Bull vanished 10 years ago. Norm pressures her and even threatens her life if she remains silent about Bull's location. Several hours after Norm and Gary leave, Bull arrives at his mother's residence, distraught to find that Norm has murdered her. Bull's quest for vengeance persists, with Mike being his next target. Mike had just picked up his 2 children from school that morning. Bull is waiting for him in a parked car as he walks with his children. Mike appears startled, as if he has encountered a ghost. It's well known that Mike, along with Norm and others, attempted to assassinate Bull. Bull threatens Mike with death unless he joins him in the car. Throughout the journey, Mike begs Bull for mercy and forgiveness, especially for his children. Bull inquires about Gemma's current location with Mike. Mike, due to his ignorance, insists he has no idea where she is and hasn't seen her in 3 years. He suggests that Gary and Norm may have the information Bull is looking for. Finally, Bull issues an ultimatum to Mike: if he can set up for Gary to come across him at the fun fair, Mike and his family will be protected. Bull puts at risk to end their lives if Mike fails. When Bull arrives at the amusement park, he goes on a ride with Mike's son. Mike eventually shows up and informs Bull that he has successfully contacted Gary, who is currently by the Waltzers. Recognizing Mike as the source of information about Gary and Gemma's affair, and motivated by his deep admiration for Bull, Bull decides to spare Mike and his children. When Bull confronts Gary, he immediately brandishes a knife, terrifying him. Bull coerces Gary into joining him in an arcade game for further questioning. Bull questions Gary about the whereabouts of Norm and Gemma during the game. Gary, on the other hand, fabricates a lie, claiming that he and Gemma divorced 6 years ago and that he has no current knowledge of their whereabouts. Bull, seeing through Gary's deception, fatally injures Gary without hesitation. Bull remains clueless about Gemma and Norm's whereabouts, but his resolve stays strong. When he enters a nightclub, he unexpectedly comes across a drug courier. Knowing about Gemma's serious drug addiction, Bull intercepts the courier in a prompt manner to seek information about Gemma. Convinced that the dealer might have information about Gemma's location, Bull compels the frightened courier to lead him to a drug dealer. After some coercion, the frightened courier agrees to guide Bull to the city's most prominent drug dealer. Upon reaching the destination, Bull politely inquires whether Gemma is one of the dealer's clients. In exchange for a monetary reward, the dealer agrees to share the information. Bull consents to compensate the dealer, but before doing so, he asks for the beverage the dealer is holding. Suddenly and without warning, Bull severs the man's hand and proceeds to torture him. Now in intense agony and missing a hand, the drug dealer eventually gives in and agrees to lead Bull to Gemma's home on the condition that Bull spares his life. Bull reaches Gemma's residence and finds her asleep. He wakes her up abruptly, leaving her stunned at his sudden appearance. Gemma immediately apologizes and begs for Bull's forgiveness. Bull instructs Gemma to bring Norm to him right away. After some time, Norm arrives at Gemma's house, armed and on guard. Unaware of Bull's presence with a knife, Norm steps inside. Bull successfully incapacitates Norm. After incapacitating Norm, Bull grabs a pillow and uses it to suffocate him while pressuring Gemma for Aiden's whereabouts. Despite Gemma's pleas to stop, Bull continues until she reveals Aiden's location. In a fit of rage, Bull demands Aiden's presence, causing Gemma to reveal that Aiden, abandoned by her, is living under a bridge in the city center. Norm eventually succumbs in front of Gemma, who is then killed by Bull. That night, Bull locates Aiden under the bridge and takes him away. Bull decides to bring Aiden to a nearby church. The next morning, a vicar named Cheryl approaches the church. It turns out that Cheryl is Bull's former mother-in-law, having divorced Norm before Aiden's birth. Cheryl is surprised to find Aiden unconscious on the floor as she unlocks the church door. The shock increases when he sees Bull, instilling even more fear. Cheryl had assumed Bull had died a decade ago. Inquiring about Bull's motivation for visiting, Cheryl discovers that he came looking for redemption, not for himself, but for Aiden. Bull's completely black eyes reveal that he died 10 years ago when Norm and his men incinerated him on the bus. Bull mysteriously resurrected to exact his vengeance and protect Aiden. Bull delegates responsibility for Aiden's care to Cheryl prior to his permanent departure. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.
I'm sorry.
You got him on the gear!
Please get off him, please.
What are we gonna do, Boo?
Yeah. Come on, drink it all. You won't feel a thing.